Something monumental, something huge has just happened in the RWA space, and you're probably not aware of it due to the current market state. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the channel, and let me break this down for you. And it's not just Ondo, but it's looking at tokenization in general. Going to be interested at that. Big shout out to my channel sponsors. Of course, big up Nansen, Mexi, and of course, Tangem. Let's get it. So guys, welcome to the open economy. The warning here is not today or tomorrow. This is a 5-year warning. Take my video as you want. Look at tokenization if you like or not. It's up to you, but something major is happening in crypto, and Ethereum is at the heart of it. Ethereum is going to grow. Have a long-term view of what I'm about to tell you. So guys, Ondo Finance's open market is going live today. 100 plus tokenized stocks and ETF go live on Ethereum. What does that do to the real world asset category? It has jumped 27% to 64,714,000,000. And when we take into context of the kind of tokenization that's been planned, you are friggin' early. The sector is not even 100 billion. I repeat, the sector is not even 100 billion. This is money. Literally, what I'm talking about is money in your pocket, whether this cycle, whether tomorrow. I'm talking about 2030. And if you don't know what the plan is, the vision for 2030 is to have Wall Street going on the blockchain. Now, there is an idea, of course, and there is a concern amongst investors whether a digitalized, regulated, stable dollar does well for the dollar and doesn't really need blockchain to function. There is somewhat an extent to that argument, but this is happening on Ethereum. Wall Street 2.0 is going to be on Ethereum. Ethereum assets literally are on the blockchain, are being tokenized, and that is trillions of dollars just from BlackRock alone that will come into the market. Okay. So this whole RWA sector is just beginning, future on on-chain markets, and we are super early, right? Despite what anyone thinks in terms of these assets, we are super duper early now. Of course, with the sector jumping like this, we'd want to know what type of products we can look at, of course. And we've got a few, and we want to look at what's going on here in more detail. So as always, we'll go to the drawing board to try and understand where we're at, guys. So this sharp increase here is just a start. You can see this market is up quite significantly, but this is the key figure you need to be paying attention to when it comes to tokenization. And what is trending? Okay, we've got Ondo, Maple Finance. Chainlink is a jack of all trades. It's primarily an oracle that powers the RWA tokenization scene. So these are pretty significant jumps, if you ask me, right? 7.5%, 11%. Key to up here, 10%. Maple Finance, of course, mentioned their top gainers, and Zebec. So in terms of the number one RWA, I mean, we're talking about a $15 billion asset. It's out of reach for most people. And then, of course, we've got things like Stellar Lumens, up 11 billion. And then we've literally got this bad boy here that probably leads the most common RWA assets. Algorand sitting there in the top 10. And of course, Algorand's also introduced new AI agents, which I shared in the group today. Okay, so AI agents or DeFi AI agents are now becoming a real thing. So let's have a look at this. So Ondo under $1, in my opinion, is a good buy. Now, I've told all of the community to buy this 50 cent to about 70 cent range. This was, you know, this is the range which we accumulated Ondo, and in particularly this point in time. But for me, under $1, Ondo is a certified 10x potential, $30 billion. When you're in the thick of the action to tokenize $1 trillion in assets, or up to 100 trillion in some cases, or 10 trillion, makes absolutely no sense. It is literally relatively low risk, high reward play. And Ondo Finance, if you know anything about the space, hasn't really done what it's supposed to do, largely because people are looking at the tokenomics. But this is now the Ondo chain. Okay, it is now the Ondo chain. Now, of course, the appreciation for me of this asset to its really true form should take over 2 cycles. It is now a layer 1 as opposed to, I mean, what we're looking at here, guys, you know, we're looking at global markets on chain. This is absolutely berserk, right? Thousands of RWAs in a single platform. This is absolutely monumental. And I'm not hyping you up. I'm telling you, you need to be in this now in order to take full advantage of the next 5 years. It honestly, it is literally one of the biggest, in my opinion. This is what Wall Street want. And why do DXB, why do Wall Street want this? Well, we trade 24/7, 365. They can't. They've got Monday to Friday. They've got trading hours. Now, what you have is trended on-chain, all of your favorite assets here. SBET, you've got AMD, you've got Apple, you've got friggin' anything like Tesla at 350 here. You know, you can sign in and you can, of course, buy with your USDC. And you notice it is Ethereum. This is big stuff, guys. So, like I said, each to their own in terms of what you decide to buy. But what I would say is, don't be scared by these metrics, and fully diluted valuation of nearly $10 billion is quite large, but I am talking about a relatively low hanging fruit in terms of where Ondo Finance is. Now, most investors, retailers, look at this number, 3 billion, and think, shit, this is already fully diluted at nearly 10 billion. But look, you've got a very good TVL, okay, which is a check. This number here, you have to look across the next, I would probably say next 2 years. The next 2 years will be quite important in bringing some of those tokens into circulation. And you can look at a detailed vesting schedule. But this has been booming. So 24 hours, 7%, 7 days, 2.4%, 14 days, 3%. Of course, only 55% for the year. So it hasn't really majorly left you behind, right? 55% gain to 1000% is nothing to me. So Ondo Finance for me, Ondo Markets, keep an eye on this. Of course, there are other interesting projects, notably here, Plume. And the one thing about Plume, again, you know, these RWA projects have this restriction, right? So you've got float, low float, right? You have low float at a high FDV, okay? FDV. So what that means is there are more tokens to come out, but what you have to remember with some of these is not all the circulation comes out. Look at the vesting schedule. But what I would say is this one, what I love about Plume is based out of Hong Kong, okay? So you have one particular RWA company in the East that is fully compliant in the West, okay? I hope you understand that. That's why I'm making it so simple for you guys. So they are regulated, based in Hong Kong, and they are regulated in the United States. What that means is there are trillions of dollars worth of assets, right? Or even billions of dollars, if you like, of assets in, for example, Hong Kong. And this movement of these assets from east to west is going to be quite vital. Look at Plume. Hasn't had that performance like we saw in Ondo because everybody is selling the news. The Ondo price is obviously catching a bid because of this, right? Everybody knew they're going to tokenize 100 assets, and there you have it, 100 assets on chain. So there are also other smaller projects that will allow you to break into this RWA space and do very well out of it. I'm not saying just target large caps. That would be quite foolish, but sometimes the obvious, which is what the retail ignores, is the best. The obvious is the best. You have to understand, like, you're no genius in buying a shitcoin and waiting 10 years for that shitcoin to do something, okay? Look at Zebec. This was my buy alert for Zebec right here. Okay. And this was the top of Zebec. But look at this consolidation. Again, it's forming a bull flag, and it looks like he wants to go and do some incredible numbers. You look at the market cap, relatively small for what it does, what it has. Relatively decent amount of volume, exactly not where it's supposed to be, but Zebec is another good example of a cryptocurrency in the RWA sector that will do very well. Maple Finance has gone from strength to strength, and Kita here, a layer one on base, is doing rather well. Well, DXB, what else is good in this? Well, we talked about Kita. We've spoken about Plume. Actually, KTA is bigger than Plume. And then you've got CFG here, sitting at $195 million. Decent. We'll skip over the likes of LCX. You know, I don't care if a centralized exchange, decentralized exchange is actually well economic forum compliant. Don't give a shit about that. But you've got the likes of Epic Chain here, right? You still have prop base and few more here. So you got TokenFi, which is flying and has come down. I have previously spoken about Dusk, and of course Tharwa, which is the UAE regulated stable coin, which is sitting quite nicely. Collateralized have done very well, but they are only $17 million in market cap. Now, one project that is quite interesting is the UAE-based Tharwa project at 73 million, along with Epic Chain. I think this is the next class underneath Zebec, underneath Kata, underneath Plume. Then you've got a bunch of these charts that look like this. This is a very solid project, 100 million fully diluted. It's almost like, for me, it's almost similar to, in terms of the market performance, to Epic Chain, right? But this is the UAE's very own RWA project based out of my hometown of Abu Dhabi. And these guys know exactly what they're doing. The first collateralized backed by an RWA driven hedge fund, right? This is a very good project. Again, THUSD, Sharia compliant as well. You know, this is a very, very good RWA project, in my opinion. Like I said, UAE-based regulatory and Sharia compliance. That is a big, big, big news, right? That's a big thing. Islamic finance, guys, is absolutely huge. So, you know, CEO Saeed Al-Fahim, who we tried to get on the channel. You've got, you know, Hamid Al-Masrougi. You know, you've got a few good people here. Team fully doxed, of course, and this team is all on LinkedIn, and their project has done so well out of the gap, and right now the prices are just beautifully consolidating. Very, very good RWA project. I think this is something that you need to pay attention to, right? Okay, guys, so let me know your favorite RWA coin. I've given you mine. This is DXB reporting from beautiful Abu Dhabi today, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, guys. Speak soon.